About the experienced climber who died on Mount St. Helens. Rescue teams now say the man survived the initial fall and tried to make it to safety. And we are just days away from a solar eclipse. We'll take you to the Smithsonian to see how they are getting ready for the big event. But first, let's check in with Daisy Caballero for a quick look at the forecast. Daisy?
Hey, good morning, Art, and happy Saturday, everyone. Yes, wanted to take you out to the beautiful Oregon coast, Newport, where it is currently starting to rain, seeing a little bit of that drizzle, 47 degrees last check there. And showing you our satellite radar, they're not alone. A brand new system is actually bringing us some pretty heavy downpour to some parts of the coastline, headed our way specifically for the Astoria area. And of course, as that system starts to move on over, we'll be seeing a little bit of that rain as well. But hey, if you're planning to spend your Saturday today out on the coast, forecast here, 50 degrees for Astoria, 51 for both Pacific City and also for Newport. Quick reminder, though, that sneaker wave threat is a possibility for both today and also for tomorrow. Quick look at your current temperatures. 38 degrees out in Scappoose, also for Beaverton, 41 for Tigard. Looking down south just a bit, 42 degrees for both Kaiser and also for Salem as well. So forecasted temperatures right about noon, we'll be seeing very similar conditions that we saw yesterday. Those mid to upper 40s up and down the I-5 corridor with those low 50s. If we reach that in some areas as we're looking at 5 o'clock today. But like I've been saying, a gradual warm up is on the way. We'll talk about when that is and how warm coming up.
Thanks, Daisy. After a child predator sting, 4 men are behind bars and detectives are looking for more potential victims. Washington County deputies say from the start that these suspects thought they were connecting with children and they were okay with that. Catherine Cook has the important warning from investigators.
It's a sad fact that this happens.
Anel Sarek is a detective with the Washington County Sheriff's Office. This week, they conducted a child predator sting to nab adults trying to meet children for sex.
Once this happens to a child, it's very traumatic and they carry on into adulthood.
Sarek says investigators posing as underage boys and girls set up decoy profiles on several dating apps and websites and waited. He says people contacted those profiles and offered to meet someone they thought was a child for sex. Deputies arrested 4 men for luring a minor and online sexual corruption of a child. 30-year-old Matthew Goldman of Tigard, 27-year-old Jesus Rodriguez Garcia of Forest Grove, 25-year-old Gerardo Serrano Garcia of Hillsborough, and 54-year-old Ruben Olvera Gaona of Forest Grove. Deputies are sharing these mugshots because they think there could be more victims. They say while chatting with a decoy, Rodriguez Garcia said he'd had sexual contact with other minors. Above all, Sarek says it's critical parents warn their kids about what's happening and monitor who they connect with online.
You have to be involved in your child's life, what they do on their phones, their iPads, any sort of websites and media that they use, social media use.
It could make the difference when the wrong adult is watching.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Police in Salem have made an arrest in Thursday's deadly shooting at Wallace Marine Park. A SWAT team tracked down the suspect, 23-year-old Arlie Thompson, to a home on North Star Court. Thompson, who faces second-degree murder charges, is accused of killing another man named Charlie Hodges. Investigators say this started with a fight over property at a homeless campsite. A judge has sentenced a former Portland firefighter to 8 years behind bars for kidnapping a man and locking him in a storage container. In 2021, authorities say that 48-year-old Douglas Borland and 2 others kidnapped Colby Fleischman outside of a downtown Portland steakhouse and then drove him to a farm in Estacada and locked him in a storage container. The men apparently believed that Fleischman had stolen tens of thousands of dollars from a pot dispensary that Borland owned. Borland had been on administrative leave with Portland Fire. He has now been fired. And we have an update on a climber who died on Mount St. Helens a week ago. Turns out he survived the initial 1,200-foot fall. Last Friday, Roscoe Shorey, better known to friends as Rocky, went on a solo summit up Mount St. Helens with plans to snowboard back down. The men who recovered his body found evidence that Shorey had stepped into a cornice. He fell about 200 feet and then rode an avalanche that was triggered for an additional 1,000 feet. Rescuers say that they found footprints that showed that he tried to repeatedly climb back up. Rescuers believe that he was close to the crater's rim when a second fall killed him.
He had no jacket on. He had no gloves on. it was dark at this point. We know that it's dark out, and he did all that with no equipment. It's quite a testimony to what kind of guy he was.
Rescuers are warning that the warming weather can make conditions on the mountains dangerous as snow begins to soften. A Florida woman is in custody after prosecutors say that she duped the city of Portland into wiring her over $1 million. The Multnomah County DA's office says last year, 39-year-old Chantel Williams pretended to be an employee for the nonprofit Central City Concern. While using the fake identity, they say that she was able to misdirect $1.4 million in funds from the Housing Bureau into her own account. Prosecutors say that a cyber breach of city systems was also part of this. The money was meant to go toward affordable housing, and one legal expert told us that if she's convicted, Williams could face a harsher sentence.
An agency that's helping low-income people who have the least, and the money's being taken away from that. So we're essentially harming those who have the least in our society, and it's allegedly being used for personal gain. So I think that would be considered an aggravating factor.
Williams was arraigned Thursday. She'll be back in court in May. A Central City Concern told us they have no comment. A heads up for transit riders. A stretch of the Max Blue Line is going to be closed starting this Sunday. The disruption will affect 5 stations between East 172nd Avenue and Civic Drive in Gresham. Shuttle buses will run every 15 minutes. This is so TriMet can make some improvements to an old rail crossing in the area. The disruption will last through next Saturday, April 13th. Baseball is back in Hillsboro. Despite losing to the Everett Aqua Sox last night on opening day, the Hops fans were really excited for the return of baseball, and so was the Hops president.
We've always been in this for the baseball, for the experience we put on in the stands with fans, the memories that are built at the ballpark, people coming out and just having fun. And then watching these players develop into big leaguers. It's that kind of renewed spirit. I think that's why opening day is so popular in baseball, probably of any other sport. There's just nothing like opening day in baseball.
Now, this opening day came with some extra relief for the team because they managed to secure enough funds to start building a new ballpark that meets Major League Baseball standards. That'll keep the club in Washington County for years to come. Construction on the estimated $120 million venue is set to start later this summer.